welcome to Terra Juno Painting Stuff. In this video, we're going to be starting this 14 by 14 inch oil painting on location at Shawnigan Creek Stone Bridge. We are at Shawnigan Creek, and I'm hoping to paint this beautiful waterfall.
I spotted this waterfall the last time we painted here, but there was nowhere to set up because of the high water level and steep terrain.
So it is down a cliff.
We did a bit more exploring and ended up finding a way down to a flatter spot at the base of the waterfall with a wonderful view of the bridge where I could set up my gear and paint. So I arrived with all my gear at noon and we headed to our spot. Well, we tried. Emily did not like this place. It may have had something to do with the fact that this place is between a high school and a McDonald's, and it was lunchtime. There were dozens of teens walking by with food, and it was bringing out Emily's inner trash panda. This is my plein air buddy Emily. She joins me on most of my plein air adventures, and she's on a diet. She just did not want to leave the smell of those french fries. So we had a little bit of lunch and then came back after one. Then I was finally able to get her down the trail. I'm going to start off by letting you know I didn't get to finish this one on location. The air down by the waterfall was so misty that it started to make my paint not stick to the panel, and I had to pack it up. But if you join me on next week's plein air adventure, we'll be finishing it off then. Sorry, I sound a bit like I'm talking into a tin can. I have a noise cancelling mic on because the waterfall sounds like this.
Here's a little look at my supplies. I just have a gridded off viewfinder that I can look through and find what composition I want. And I'm working on a 14 by 14 inch panel. On my palette, I have two piles of titanium white, burnt sienna, yellow ochre, ivory black, terra rosa, permanent green, ultramarine blue, azo green, and for a medium, I'm working with Gamblin solvent-free gel. And this is just mineral spirits for washing my brushes and thinning my paint. And she's nice and cozied in there. We do have to keep an eye out for cougars. Every once in a while, I'm looking up above and making sure they're not lurking around. They do like to attack from above, so I had a good look around in the trees. And luckily, there's a lot of human activity today, so that should keep them at bay. I'm going to start off by taking a number 6 round flat hog hair brush. I'm just going to get a little bit of solvent on it here and a little bit of burnt sienna with a touch of black. Ooh, that's a bit dark. I'm going to add a little bit of terra rosa and a touch of white. I have my drawing color here, which is basically kind of a warm brown. And I'm going to be looking through my viewfinder here to figure out what I want to put on my panel.
We're going to be drawing in paint and doing a block in with this warm brown tone.
I decided I want to move my white water a little bit. So I'm just going to move it over here. Just going to smudge around to block in my darker areas.
I want this painting to have a warm glow in the thin areas, so I'm going to create a thin, warm, transparent layer.
I don't want to leave solvent running down because it's gonna keep running. It's actually not too cold today, so I'm not that worried about it. but it will continue its journey down the panel for a while on a cold day like this, so you don't want to leave it liquidy. There's our block in. We've got some nice light happening up there right now. That's really pretty.
I love how the bridge and everything behind it has a warm light, and everything underneath, except for some of the dappled light on the water, is cool colored.
All right, I'm really liking the looks of that light up there. So I'm gonna take a bit of white, a little bit of yellow ochre, a teeny bit of terra rosa. Put in some of that warm there.
I'm working with less colors than I normally have on my palette. I'm going to try to make these colors work for me.
I'm gonna bring in some of my azo green, a little bit of that permanent green. I'm gonna be taking a number 6 filbert hog hair and just putting in some of my darker colors. And I still want to keep these pretty warm, so I'm just going to add a bit of black, some yellow ochre. I'm getting kind of like a warm dark green. That's what I'm seeing here, so I'm going to go with that. Put in some of these very dark violety colors. We are kind of in the woods here, so I find there's a lot of dark violet in the shadows. They're quite warm looking. This is giving me it vibes. And this other little friend down there. Now, I'm gonna paint in some of the dark on this bridge. It looks slightly warm to me looking at it. It's like a dark violet. You're gonna need the warm transparents coming through to get the impression of the light. And then everything that's not getting hit by the light is going to be slightly cooler and darker. But we still want to keep a lot of warmth in the darks, or else it'll look dead.
I'm then going to paint into that warm transparent layer with my cooler colors.
All right, now I have my background sorted out here. I'm gonna do a little bit of work in my foreground, and I'm gonna start coming down just here. And I'm gonna be adding a little bit of ultramarine blue into my darker mix, just painting right into that. And it's not a bright blue, there's still a lot of violet going on there. So we're gonna keep a bit of that terra rosa happening. I'm gonna wipe stuff off. So I want some of this rock peeking through. So I'm just gonna wipe a bit of that off. I'm getting some really nice light up there.
What do you see, girl? A little otter made an appearance. Emily was very interested and tried to chase after it, blanket and all.
You're not gonna catch him. He can swim faster than you.
She sat there diligently, guarding us against the threat of an otter invasion.
Now I'm mixing some black and white. So I have a lot of my soft, warmer colors in here, and I'm just going in with some cooler colors. And this is basically just like black and white. I'm not adding anything in here special. It's not really necessary because I have so many warms in here. Like black and white's gonna take me where I want to go. Where'd the hunting go? Okay, I'm gonna be filling in some of my lighter areas, but I'm gonna be using this nice big brush so I don't get all fiddly with it because I'm finding I'm sort of just tootling around here. Now, I'm gonna just mix in a bit of black and white. I'm gonna add in a little bit of my yellow ochre.
We'd been down here for about an hour and a half. It was starting to get later in the day, and the water was starting to beat up on my palette, panel, and brushes, making the paint clump up and not stick.
I am going to mix in a bit of ultramarine blue, black, and white here. I'll just put in some of these lighter areas.
Oil and water don't mix. It was beginning to interfere with the effect that I wanted, and I was not able to lay thick paint down over top of my block-in.
Okay, well, I think I'm gonna have to call it a day today. My paint's not really sticking anymore because of the condensation. There's just mist slowly falling on me, and I think because it's getting colder in the day and there's a bit of a breeze blowing my way, it's just settling on my paint. So it's not really sticking to the surface.
Emily had decided that she did not want to hike back up this hill. I had a bit of trouble getting her out of her blanket.
Hey, honey, it's time to go. I'm gonna have to take your blanket. Oh, I'm sorry, babe. It's time to take my gear and my painting and my unwilling dog and climb up this steep, jagged hill. I've got a little handle on the back of my painting here. The dog is more than willing to go now. It's beautiful here. That wasn't too bad. Thank you so much for joining us for another planner adventure. We will be back next week to finish this painting, weather permitting. I hope you have a great week. I hope you paint something beautiful. And I hope your painting doesn't get so misty you can't paint.